All right, so this one is Jim Carrey's speech no one wants to hear. And I think that probably means that everyone wants to hear it because
Yeah, it's
we
probably
clicked on it.
probably a compilation. There's a lot of Jim Carrey online on YouTube, and this one seemed to be just the right size for us to nibble on and react to.
Yeah, I love Jim Carrey. Let's see what he's gonna.
If you had a day where nobody would recognize you.
I don't think I'd be that different, honestly. I dropped the whole trying to be something for somebody a long time ago, so I pretty much walk through the world except when I want to be funny or I want to do something outrageous. I don't have any trouble being myself, and I don't have any trouble saying no when I mean no. When, I don't feel there is a, pressing responsibility to please everyone. I'm not unkind to people.
No.
I love people. I would much prefer saying hello and who are you and what are you doing today than giving a selfie, because selfies stop the world. They stop life. You then go,
I think that's a good place to pause it for sure. That's the Jim Carrey I know and love.
There is so much to this guy that in this stage of his life has been real surprising to discover. When he stopped being the complete rubber-faced goofball and started taking roles like the Man in the Moon, and I was able to start to see the range. I think Dave Chappelle said it great. Jim Carrey is not one of those kinds of people. He's got the kind of talent that you can't imitate or practice. And
Nope, can't do it.
Yeah, he made Tommy Lee Jones angry at him when he was the Riddler in the Batman movie because he was just so Jim Carrey. Yeah. Like when he makes his lips go this far down on his.
Yeah.
But what he was just saying here really is interesting to me because he's not saying a lot of other things that he could be like, I just need to be left alone and people don't get me and all that. He was talking about how he wants to connect to people and how selfies are ruining the world. I tell you, if I got to meet him and spend like even a minute with the guy and he was interested in actually having a conversation, the last freaking thing I would do is pull up my phone and waste time with that.
Yeah.
I would want to like touch and talk to the guy, shake hands and feel his energy.
Especially after watching this, it would be a big insult to him because we know how much he hates it.
Kind of reminds me of Rush's song Limelight. But yeah, so look it up.
Oh, you're not going to share more?
There's a line in there the drummer wrote. I can't pretend a stranger is a long-awaited friend. He's not trying to hurt anybody, but he'd much rather not be in the limelight and be misunderstood and then hurt someone's feelings.
Gotcha.
But it's a lot bigger of a song, but it's a little what he's talking about.
Yeah. All right.
And it's going on Instagram to give people a false sense of relevance.
People talk about depression all the time. The difference between depression and sadness is just, from happenstance. Whatever happened or didn't happen for you, or, grief or whatever it is. And depression is your body saying, I don't want to be this character anymore. I don't want to hold up this avatar that you've created in the world. It's too much for me. Deep rest. Your body needs to be depressed. It needs deep rest from the character that you've been trying to play.
I act because I'm broken in a lot of pieces. And acting gives me a chance to reconfigure those pieces into 1,000 different things that are positive for people to watch.
Was there ever a moment where you first sort of realized, like, I want to be a performer. This is the thing that I want to do with my life?
There was never any other choice. From the time that there was consciousness in the body, I was looking at a man named Percy, my dad, who was the most incredible character that you'd ever meet. If you met him for 5 minutes, you thought you knew him for 50 years. Wow. And he wrapped everyone that came into our house in stories and jokes, and I became his calling at a certain point. And he was always super behind me. But from the first time I can remember, him just lighting up the room, and him just like wrapping everybody in a story or whatever, and going, oh, that's the thing I want to do. That's what I want to be. My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that that was possible for him. And so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant. And when I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job. And our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. You know?
I love that.
Yeah, one thing that hit me just a few minutes before this was when he was talking about the impact that his dad had on anybody that would meet him. You know what? What do you want to be known for? Like, what is it that people say about you? People tell me they think I'm smart and I'm funny.
I just was hoping you weren't going to tell a joke about your dad, but yeah.
No, I got no bad dad jokes right now.
Yeah, having a dad that's not around is worse than having a dad that does anything. So be grateful for however weird your dad is, as long as he's around.
One thing I notice that's really impressive to me is the way that Jim Carrey speaks. It's fluid, it's well thought out, it's intelligent. There's vocabulary. He doesn't and pause. Like, I love Johnny Depp, and he's an incredibly intelligent person, but when you talk to him, I feel like I'm waiting for a call to go through to Tokyo or something. It just takes forever to get a point.
You're saying he's not the articulate man that Jim
No,
Carrey is?
not at all. It's just like such a difference.
Interesting.
Oh, and speaking of Rush from earlier, if you ever watch an interview with Neil Peart, the drummer, it's the same way. And you're like, how do people communicate like this with such clarity and intuitiveness and passion? It's because it's so present for them. What's true for them is real, and it's right on the tip of their tongue. When he's talking about his dad, he's not talking about something so far in the past that he has to like dig it up. It's very present. And that's
Okay.
what I got.
Yeah, this last part he just stopped at. If you're going to fail at something that you love, and I love that. Chase your dreams and go do the stuff that's fascinating. Ready?
I watched the effect of my father's love and humor and how it altered the world around me. And I thought, that's something to do. That's something worth my time. It wasn't long before I started acting up. People would come over to the house and they'd be greeted by a 7-year-old throwing himself down a large flight of stairs. They would say, "What happened?" And I would say, "I don't know. Let's check the replay." I'd go back to the top of the stairs and come back down in slow motion. Now, fear is going to be a player in your life, but you get to decide how much. You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. When I was about 28, after a decade as a professional comedian, I realized one night in LA that the purpose of my life had always been to...
Can I just pause this real quick? Because that
Yeah.
was hilarious. Did you see the little pop-up a second ago?
No.
It said, if you don't respect Johnny Depp, watch this.
Oh,
What?
get out of my head, Google.
I think somebody was listening. I just had to stop because that was really funny to me.
Well, we definitely can say we can have so much conversation around fear. What he said it all, though.
Yeah, every choice is made out of fear or love. There's two energies, and those are the only ones. And by the way, I love Johnny Depp, so I just want to throw that out there, Google, when you're listening. Love you,
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
Anxiety comes from not knowing what's ahead. And that's what he was sort of hinting at least in my opinion.
I think when people say, I'm worried about that, I worry about that, there's this worry is an insurance policy on what's not supposed to happen that you're going to bring into your reality because you're focusing on it so much, even though you don't want it. So your thoughts and your words are so powerful.
Yeah, and how many people listening do you think have turned fear into perfectionism as another way of hiding from having to do anything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
free people from concern, just like my dad.
The only one I hadn't freed was myself. And that's when my search for identity deepened. I wondered who I'd be without my fame. Who would I be if I said things that people didn't want to hear? Or if I defied their expectations of me? And that piece that we're after lies somewhere beyond personality, beyond the perception of others, beyond invention and disguise, even beyond effort itself. You can join the game, fight the wars, play with form all you want. But to find real peace, you have to let the armor go. Your need for acceptance can make you invisible in this world. Don't let anything stand in the way of the light that shines through this form. Risk being seen in all of your glory.
I gotta pause that because that's exactly a beautiful thing we like to talk about. Your unique you, your weird self, all of the things that make you completely you is what is needed in this world. And becoming invisible is not helping anybody. You came here with something, I don't know what it is, but you've got something to share. And if you're here, figure out what that is and share it. That's your job. That's it. I love this. I think he's incredible. And just questioning, what would it be like if I didn't have this fame, or if I wasn't me, what would it be like? And just questioning your own reality. What would it be like if I wasn't playing this role, or if I did pursue this thing?
His voice creates so much contrast because I'm hearing these words that are really touching me, but it's from Ace Ventura, and my brain's trying to put the two Legos together.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what he was just talking about. What if I said these things, but I wasn't Jim Carrey? Would
What
they
if-
matter to you?
What if I said things that you don't want to hear?
Yeah.
That's a powerful statement, and it's really, I think where we're at now is we have enough public figures, celebrities, and people that do have an audience that are talking about more things that matter and challenging people to stop looking outside of themselves and to go look in the mirror and figure out who they are and why they're here. And hearing it from people that have a big following makes a big difference because people just drop everything and listen to them. So I see a lot of validity in listening to Jim Carrey and watching him and how he's stepped out into, I don't care what people think. Everybody's going to see it, and I'm going to go see what's up. I'm going to go question things and go on to a deep discovery.
Job is not to figure out how it's going to happen for you, but to open the door in your head. And when the door opens in real life, just walk through it. And don't worry if you miss your cue, because there's always doors opening. They keep opening. And when I say life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, I really don't know if that's true. I'm just making a conscious choice to perceive challenges as something beneficial so that I can deal with them in the most productive way. You'll come up with your own style. That's part of the fun. You are ready and able to do beautiful things in this world. And after you walk through those doors today, you will only ever have two choices: love or fear. Choose love, and don't ever let fear turn you against your playful heart. What's happening right now in
I think he was speaking to a college graduating class in that one. And, those are some of the most inspiring speeches people hear in their lives at those moments, rites of passage. And, if you didn't have a college graduation, or maybe your speech wasn't inspirational, the beauty of YouTube is you can go listen to that and get the same feeling, like
That
what
works.
it would have been like.
Because the food truck owner was the keynote speaker at my graduation.
What did he tell you? Did he inspire you?
He gave us the perfect amount of time to microwave a burrito.
Did it help you? You
It
just had-
did.
you just had a burrito on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, but this one, I had an enchilada.
Oh, that's right. Which
Anyway,
is sort of like a burrito with sauce.
We're diluting all the Jim Carrey right now.
My point is, there's always people who are going to be giving inspiring messages in this world. Some of the stuff he's saying is stuff that I've said in the past, but it doesn't matter. It needs to keep being said. Keep
Yes.
saying it. Keep sharing it. And look for it and listen to it. And this is the kind of stuff that your brain and your mind and your soul wants to hear and needs to hear, is this inspirational, love-filled messages.
Yeah, because on a deeper level, somewhere outside the veil of what we all see, We were all in a state of love, and we made agreements to come here and be a participant in this experiment together.
Let's go be humans.
Let's go be humans and let's create expansion. And part of this is he's talking to that part of us that's very eternal.
Everybody is there going, well, I don't know. That's probably true. Anyway, who am I?
Inside everybody is they're going, who am I? And they're depressed. People go like, oh, Jim's been depressed and stuff. Well, yeah, I was depressed when I was trying to be the Wizard of Oz. But now I know that Oz is a character. You know, I think everybody deals with that. Everybody walks around and they go like, why am I depressed? Well, it's because you're trying to be something for the world, you know? And as soon as you let that go, better things happen because they're just happening. It's not, now it's just sadness. You know, sadness comes, happiness comes. It's the weather that flies by in the sky. It doesn't sit on you long enough to drown you.
A few months ago, I woke up and I suddenly got it. I understood suddenly how thought was just an illusory thing, and how thought is responsible for, if not all, most of the suffering we experience. And then I suddenly felt like I was looking at these thoughts from another perspective. And I wondered, who is it that's aware that I'm thinking? And suddenly I was thrown into this expansive, amazing feeling of freedom from myself, from my problems. You know, when I go to sleep at night, I'm not just a guy going to sleep. I'm two-time Golden Globe winner Jim Carrey going to get some well-needed shut-eye. And when I dream, I don't just dream any old dream. No, sir. I dream about being three-time Golden Globe winning actor Jim Carrey. Because then I would be enough. It would finally be true. And I could stop this terrible search.
I think what's really great about that is the people think he's kidding.
Is that off?
No,
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, people are laughing. Is that real?
I think that this is really funny because he's sharing this very heartfelt space about like, I really want to stop pretending to be other people. And I really just want to be me. And they're like, yeah, me too. Oh, God.
Well, he's sitting in a room full of people that want the golden cow.
Yeah.
And he received a couple, and
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't faze them that he's denigrating the golden cow.
It ultimately doesn't matter, is what he's saying to these people who he's just, yeah. That's amazing. I haven't seen this before. It's good stuff.
What I know ultimately won't fulfill me.
Ain't no elevator to the top. You got to take the stairs.
Oh, not yet, buddy. That was the end of that one.
We love Steve Harvey, but that's for another video.
Yeah, that's later.
He's just as amazing to us as Jim Carrey, but this was about what we just saw. And
well, I'm going to cut all that out so we can just pretend that didn't happen. And then just like, conclude.
Let's just start back with the conclusion.
Yeah.
So I wonder what it's... Sorry. I wonder what it was like for Jim Carrey if that moment was real, where he's being sincere in a very subversive way and they're all laughing. If he's feeling pity, if he wanted to cry, if he wanted to throw the podium at him, if he want, like, I can only imagine what he was coming up with. Just
by looking at him, he's got the big smile on his face, and he's like, I can't even believe this. Like, this is so stupid. Why am I doing this? Okay, I guess I've accomplished all the things now. It's just this like playing this part in his life and watching himself playing this part in disbelief. That it's just such a strange paradigm.
I also wonder what is it about the specific beard that he and everyone else. It's like David Letterman. They all end up having the same beard when they retire.
Oh,
Like
yeah?
when they're all done, it's just like,
Oh, I didn't really
yeah.
see that.
Look it up.
Are you going to do that when you retire?
I can't. I don't have that kind of beard power.
A giant poopy
I have
beard.
this-
We'll have to groom it and groom it and groom it.
We hope you love this one because we sure did.
Love you, Jim Carrey.